Well, hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Agent Success Secrets. And this week's special guest is Tiffany Fykes from Nashville, Tennessee, but currently living in New York City. And yeah, there's a whole story there that I can't wait to talk about with her. Tiffany, we have known each other for a few years now, and the truth is that I always enjoy my one-on-one time with you. You are a kind and caring person. You actually, I'd look into each other's eyes. We have magic when we're having a conversation. I feel like we're best friends, but we rarely see each other or really know each other that well. But I think the true testament of the kind of human that you are is that when you were in New York City and I was in New York City and I was running that really long marathon, 26.2 miles, and I was around mile 15, you tracked me and found me and gave me a hug when I really was about to quit. I was really in a lot of pain. And that right there is, I think, the truth of who you are just in your core and in your soul. And so thank you for helping me to continue that race because it was really tough, as you know. But I've gotten to know you a little bit better since then as well. But enough about me. This is all about you. Please tell everyone who you are, where you are, what you do, and then we'll just hop into it all.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm Tiffany Fykes. I run a real estate team in Nashville. My family and I have been splitting time between Nashville and New York City for the last 5 years. I am one of the co-founders of Her Best Life, so very passionate about women building big businesses, but not giving up their lives in the process, and just understanding that it's a different skill set than men necessarily have to have in order to succeed at a high level. So yeah, so that's what I split my time. I've traveled the world. I've homeschooled my kids. I've done all of that while having over $1 million producing real estate team in Nashville. I've rebuilt it. I've burned it to the ground. I've done every iteration of it. And so my journey has always been like my identity is I'm an experience creator. And so everything that I've done in my past and everything that I do with my clients, everything that I do with Her Best Life is all about helping people create an experience that allows them to believe their impossible dreams and find a way to move forward in them. So that's
I
who I am.
That is who you are to a T. So let's dive into helping agents that might be listening or out there who are struggling through this new market. I mean, you have a lot of years of experience and a lot of struggles and challenges, but lots of wins and successes as well. Like if you were talking to your younger self with a changing market out there, what would you say?
Um, I would say if you haven't been in the market, if you haven't been in this industry for 14 years, you need to cut yourself some slack because you've never done this before. This is brand new. And that's a long time to feel like, oh, I've got my legs under me. I'm a really experienced agent. To basically, the mechanics of the job are mostly the same, but the customers changed, it feels like overnight. And so you're going to be learning something new and understand that and don't beat yourself up and don't expect it to be as easy as it's been in your head. I'm not even talking about, oh, a lead will call you and then they automatically, the house sells. I just mean how you talk to the customers. You're going to screw that up again like you're brand new in the
Mhm.
industry because the customer has changed. Their reality has changed. And so you just need to lean into learning right now.
Lean into learning. I mean, that's always the case. And whenever things change, then we definitely have to tap into all the resources and the new ways of thinking. And that's just continuing to grow ourselves. And so, Tiffany, I mean, you've built a business, like you said, a successful real estate business in Nashville, Tennessee. And then you realized I love all of this, and yet I also love being with my family for wherever I want to be. So, how did you transition from building a team that can run pretty much without you if need be? You're still involved, you're still, a part of it all, but now you're living where you want to live with your favorite people.
Yeah. I mean, it was a long journey to figure it out. It was a very internal journey. And we actually started this in 2019. So before COVID, before most of our customers knew what Zoom was, we were teaching customers how to use Zoom because we headed off on a year trip. And the only way that I could do that was if I learned to separate my worth from my production as a real estate agent and my worth as a human. Those had to be two very different things because I was very tied up in succeeding at a high level because this is who I am. And the reality is, that's not who I am. It may be something that I do, but it's not who I am. And so I had to get really clear on who I am, what was at stake, and what I would be giving up by not trying this. Because there was no like, oh, here's a path, like follow this person, here's a model. We made it all up as we were going.
Ah.
And so I had to be willing to let myself fail, my business fail, to get what I really wanted in life.
That is huge. And as still a young woman, although maturing in these years, you still, though, got really clear. And that's really hard for so many people to, the ego piece is huge, huge, huge. So you were able to see yourself where you really wanted to be in New York City with your family, and you made that dream come true. And so, what are the challenges that you have today in having a long distance business?
Yeah. I mean, we have the same, like, we actually started working with clients again. We'd been out of production for a long time. I started working with clients this year, and it's so much more fun. It's so fun to work with clients. I
Yeah.
forget when you're just like grinding at a business, but you know, getting the clients to understand that their level of service has no bearing on where I am, that we've set up our business in a way that even if I'm away, you will get a great level of service. And we literally had a customer this week who called, set an appointment. We said, "Oh, you're hiring us to negotiate. Garrett's our on the ground guy." And they called us back the next day and we're like, "We just really need a real estate agent who's here full time." And we were able to overcome that objection though. We said, I totally understand how you might feel that way based on the experience you've had with past realtors. We've set up our team differently. We're much more professional. You're not hiring one, you're hiring six. And go look at our reviews and see what our customers are saying about their experience with us. And I mean, what's the worst? You can have a meeting with us and really understand how it works out, like how it would work out for you, and then you can make the best decision for yourself. And so, like getting that person back on track, learning how to like how to lead a team and motivate a team in a really hard market when your personal energy can't be the thing that lifts the room. You've got to get so much better at systems and communication and all of those pieces because I'm a high energy person. I can change the room if I walk into it with the right energy, but I can't walk into it. So, how else can I help my people stay motivated in what can often, with this market, be hard?
And with all of that, you built your business, and your database and all of the years of success have come from pouring back into your community and farming in your community and growing that. So most of your business are probably already relationship based opportunities. And so, kind of talk through how you built your business. I know that I remember you did a farming video, and I just thought, wow, that's brilliant. And I loved all those ideas, but that's very, you have to be very strategic with it and purposeful. So, kind of give some tips to somebody who might be considering this as a form of growing their business.
Yeah. So I got my license in May of 2009. I started my farm in June of 2009. I read it, nobody did it in that I knew of in Nashville. I read about it in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. It aligned with my community mindedness. And so I had tons of agents who were like, do not do this. This is the worst thing that you could possibly do. You're going to niche yourself and you're not going to get clients. And they were so wrong. And they were super successful agents. Agents, you know their names. And like, okay, but I said, you know what, I'm going to go with Gary and let's just see what happens. And it's just all about consistent. Start as soon as you can, and you don't need to start big. I started with 8 houses. I I said out of my first paycheck, what's 5% of it, and how many people can I mail to for an entire year with that 5%, and it was 8. And so then my next check, I added 15 houses. Like I grew it in the most baby step way you could possibly do it.
Wow.
But farming is all about time, and you've just got to get the clock running. And so start before you think you're ready in a way that you can sustain it.
Right.
And then farming is also, I always say, get a buddy because you are gonna want to quit because you work really, really hard before you see the real results. You work and pay for I mean, I did it for 6 months, which is really fast results, sometimes a year.
Yeah.
And by month 9, you're like, this isn't
Totally.
working. And you need like an emotional support buddy to be like, no, stick with it. You just 3 more months and you'll have something to harvest. I promise. Just keep going. So
Yeah.
that's my other tip with farming is do it with a buddy or some sort of accountability because you will want to quit. And that farm that I started is the number 2 source of business. I've sold the most homes in that 2,000 person neighborhood since I started in 2009. By I've sold 4 times as many buyers, twice as many listings. Like it's paid off so well. And I've gotten to be a part of the neighborhood and changing the way the city sees the neighborhood, created events that have transformed the way the neighbors interact with each other. And sales are great, but that's even more fun for me. So.
If someone was just starting out on this path of farming a neighborhood and you've shared a few tips already, is this like a mailer? Is this now a social media thing? Is it a combination of everything?
When I started, it was mailing and door knocking. Those were my 2 techniques. I mailed every month and then I door knocked every week. Now, when I only had 8 houses, they saw me a lot. But once you start getting a lot of houses, door knocking once a week, you're it's I mean, our whole team used to attack the neighborhood with 4 of us door knocking for 3 months to just try to touch everybody once.
Yeah.
Um, but you can add social media. I mean, the thing about social media though is now most people have neighborhood groups already created. Um, but there's room for other ways to do it. You can do it on YouTube. You can, um, I mean, I mail a newsletter. I've created a newsletter for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But mailing, I would say, is and should be one part of it to
Yeah.
be the most effective. Because number one, that's where you box other people out. They're not willing to spend the money to do
Yeah.
it. And so
Overstep.
it's easy. Plus, we don't get that much mail anymore. So people are excited if it's something of value for them.
That's right. And it's a letter with a addressed, hand
So I
addressed.
did a postcard. I did a postcard for a long time. And I mean, I did a little postcard when I was starting.
Yeah.
Then I did a big postcard. Now I do I don't know if I have one on my desk, a big it
So
folds
it's
and
noticeable
bends,
now.
like it's a newsletter now.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that idea. Just to sprinkle in, you're still living in your truth of caring about people and engaging with people. I'd assume that's in your behavioral style, that engaging with people face to face, belly to belly is in alignment with that. I want to kind of pivot on that as we, wrap up here. But, Tiffany, you're very clear on who you are and what matters to you. Maybe someone that's in the business today is kind of still searching or in that burnout or tired phase, because I know a lot of us are. What advice would you give them to kind of finish this year out strong so that they're set up for next year?
Don't judge yourself by last month or this year or last year. Like if you look at my numbers, we had a horrible year last year. Horrible. Like and horrible for us. Some
Right,
agents would think it was awesome, and I recognize that. And that's the other part of this is like let's put it
right.
all in perspective. We had a great year. And I can't write next month's story, next year's story, just because of what happened this year. This year was different. It was unique. It was unique for all of you. But don't take your foot off the gas. Like, don't give yourself permission to just coast because technically we're already building for 2026. So acknowledge what happened in 2025, learn one thing, let the rest of it go, and then put your foot down on the accelerator and go in whatever that one thing is for you that is important to your business, because now's the time to set yourself up for 2026.
Now is the time. And is that the conversation that you're having with your team and the agents that you're talking with? Anything else that you would add to that?
I mean, right now, so with Her Best Life, we have our fall mastermind, actually a, a week from today, actually. We're going to be in Rhode Island. And it's all focused on goal setting, whether it's personal goals or whether it's professional goals, because you need to get really clear on, all right, where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? And break that down into steps that are executable today. And I literally, this is what we talked about at team meeting. This is what I'm talking about at Her Best Life next week. Like, what are you trying to do next year? Because today is the day that it's already started. October starts your production in January.
Let's go. Let's go. Tiffany, how can people best find you so they can follow along and get to learn more?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Tiffany Fykes. And then Her Best Life is herbestlife.com. But that is where you can easily find me.
You are always so fun to talk with, to learn from, and I wish we had more time together, but I know that I'll see you soon. So thank you for sharing your time.
Of course, thanks for having me, Jennie.